Errol Spence Jr. gets an offer for a fight with Virgil Ortiz. The offer is made by Oscar De La Hoya for a fight in March, I do believe, in Dallas, Texas. I absolutely love it. I really, really hope this happens. I don't think it will, but let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. Errol Spence Jr. has a new suitor, Oscar De La Hoya, who wants to put him in the ring with Virgil Ortiz. But I think we're going to have some hangups for a fight that I would love to have made. I would love to see Errol fight Virgil Ortiz instead of Sebastian Fundura. Believe it. I would love that fight. Before I get into that, though, welcome back to the channel. Also, shout out to all of y'all that support the channel, have been longtime members of the channel, people that hit the like button, all you, thank you so much. Also, thank you to everybody that in this video supports in the super thanks, which is right below. Little $sign. Throw a quarter at your boy if you enjoy the content. You know what it is? It's like public broadcasting. We are fan funded. So let's get into the offer that Errol was made to Errol by Oscar De La Hoya, why I love it, and why it'll never happen. Well, first, let's say something. I'm going to assume for the sake of this conversation that Oscar De La Hoya is going to act like he has sense with Al Haymon. Okay? Let me repeat. We're going to behave as if Oscar De La Hoya is going to have sense when his team talks to Al Haymon, which means we won't have to worry about getting ripped off by being paid $2.6 million in an advance and getting paid out of 47% of net profit, which pretty much guarantees you'll never make that advance. You'll never get that full $2.6 million. You won't. Why? Because ain't no way, bro. Now, ain't no way you're going to get that out of net profit, because net profit is after all the money spent. So I'm going to start this off by assuming that Al Haymon is not going to make a knuckleheaded move like Bill and Devin did. So you can actually trust that these guys will go to a fight and somebody will get paid money out of the fight. So that could be a major hurdle if Oscar De La Hoya thinks that, and Eric Gomez and they're the people who are responsible for their negotiations. I'm going to assume that they're not going to think that Al Haymon is dumb, and they're going to make like a real offer. Okay, so why do I like Virgil Ortiz and why won't it happen? I love Virgil Ortiz because Virgil Ortiz, I think, and Errol Spence Jr. are kind of in the same place in their career. Also, I think it's I think that for Errol, I think it's a good tester fight for Errol, because Virgil Ortiz is not some like immensely skilled fighter doing all kind of different stuff in the ring. He's pretty much a come forward fighter, heavy-handed fighter. And I think that's something that would make an exciting fight with him and Errol. And they're both in Texas. I like Virgil Ortiz. They're both, from not just from Texas, but they're both from the Dallas metropolitan area. So it's going to be a really good event. You know what I mean? It'd be a lot of people there. It'd be exciting. I'd go up to Dallas for that fight. Some of those for the same reason. Similarly, that I like Gervonta Davis and Lamar Roach. It being in Houston is cool. So because people will travel to it. But I mean, the area, one guy's from DC, the other guy is from Baltimore. If you're not from the United States and don't know, those guys are from the same area. So that could make an exciting fight for the people in those communities. Similarly, or similar to the way that it happens in the UK, where you have, local fighters that do really, really well at the O2 Arena, or do, really, really well in Cardiff or wherever these other places are, where they have these arenas that fill up with people from the local area supporting local fighters. I love that. And I would love to see that with Errol and Virgil Ortiz. But why don't I think it's going to happen? I don't think it's going to happen because, number one, Errol is already set, I'm sure, to fight Sebastian Fundura, and they're going to go for belts. So Sebastian Fundura going to Dallas, Texas to fight Errol is going to pull out a lot of Mexican fans because there's a lot of Mexican Tejano. Actually, I should say a lot of Tejanos. There's going to be a lot of Tejanos that are going to really support Errol. There's going to be a lot of Tejanos that would support, I don't know if they're going to support Fundura as heavy, but they'll probably support Fundura heavy as well because he's Mexican-American. Man, that should be a really big fight. And again, another fight, a chance to go to an arena, a chance to buy a pay-per-view, a chance to actually watch a boxing match. Not a chance to sit around and complain about how fights never get made and bring all the focus onto YouTube channels so we can talk about how bad boxing is. Meanwhile, ain't nobody actually getting to watch the fights. So that's why I would say the Sebastian Fundura fight is much more likely, but I like the Virgil Ortiz fight more because I think, again, that Virgil Ortiz is probably... I think he's Virgil Ortiz because the stature is similar. I think Virgil's probably a little taller, a little bigger, but he's not so tall and awkward that you're kind of fighting a freaking nature type of situation. But anyway it goes, hey man, if Oscar wanted to make that fight, for some reason Terrence Crawford fights Sebastian Fundura, hey, sounds like a plan. It sounds like a plan to me to go there. Of course, you know though, that fight is going to have to be made by the PBC. Virgil Ortiz is not like you're going to have Errol Spence go over to the zone to fight Virgil Ortiz, right? That's going to be a fight that would be on Amazon Prime because that more than likely is where Errol Spence is going to go, right? But anyway, at the end of the day, I think these fights should be terrific fights. I'll take any one of them, as long as it stays at 154. Now, on small note about the 154-pound division, there was a pound-for-pound list that came out on that 154-pound division. And I think really, at first, it was Ring Magazine's rankings, and I didn't like them because I was like, how can Sebastian Fundura be like in number 4 when he's a world champion? But then I thought about it for a while and I listened to when I saw some other people's lists for 154, specifically Southpaw, like Southpaw TV. And I thought he made a great point. He's like, you could really take Sebastian Fundura off of there. I mean, I guess you could if you're thinking about, he got knocked out by Brian Mendoza. He looked like he was probably going to lose to Tim Tszyu. If Tim Tszyu hadn't got cut. And then you see the way Tim Tszyu got beat up by Murtazaliev, you could say, I don't really know about Sebastian Fundura. But at the same time, and I thought that was a really solid argument. At the same time, though, that really does show that there's a lot of parity in that division. A lot of parity in that division. I do not believe that Israel Madmarov is number 2 just because Israel Madmarov went the distance with Terrence Crawford. I don't believe that. I think Terrence Crawford won that fight. Terrence Crawford is a smaller guy that moved up into the division. If he was a little bit bigger, who knows what it had with Murtazaliev. But I don't think they treat Murtazaliev like they think, not Murtazaliev. I'm talking about, God, what's the guy? Not Bakram Murtazaliev. The guy that Terrence Crawford actually fought. Please forgive me, man. I'm skipping my name. Skipping my mind. But the guy that he beat, not Bakram Murtazaliev. God, man, it's killing me. Anyway, you know who the guy is. The guy that really just beat Terrence Crawford just beat. They have him in number 2, and then they have Bakram Murtazaliev like right behind him. But what Bakram, the IBF champion, had done to Tim Tszyu, the former WBO champion. At the end of the day, though, the real number 1 in that division is not any of them. It's not Terrence. It's not any of them. The number 1 guy in that division is Jermell Charlo. And when Jermell Charlo gets back, they're going to have to reckon with him. And hey, man, maybe it'll be Errol that has to deal with him. Maybe it's Virgil Ortiz. Maybe it's Crawford. But hey, man, it's just a wonderful division. It's been a wonderful division for the last several years. Underspoken, but great division. And nothing has changed. Anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.